After that thought, I haven't unpacked any of the other parts or my 90s Dyno Megazord, so I'm just going to leave this here for now and
Alpha, the Falcon is back. Prepare for him a hard work with attitude.
Hello and welcome to the next episode of Build the Megazord, where we are looking at issue 35 this time, and we are continuing with the body of the T-Rex, of course. And I just want to start this video by saying I'm pretty much caught up with the French release of this magazine. In fact, I've got issue 36 coming, which is when we finish off the torso of the T-Rex completely, and then there's no more issues that have yet been released. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to end when the torso of the T-Rex is done. Issue 36 comes with the parts of the next sword, but I'm then going to take a few weeks off to, well, for a number of reasons. Firstly, I'm going to kind of recover from moving house a bit, because it's all been a bit frantic and a bit full on, and I started back at work last week, so it's all a bit manic. So that'd be nice just to take a few weeks off. Secondly, I want to recoup the issues so that when I come back I can start going weekly again, and it just feels like a natural place to stop it. So yeah, that's what's happening. So we've got this week issue 35 and then issue 36. If you can hear banging, by the way, it's fireworks night here in the UK, and there's lots of kind of fireworks going off. Yeah, so we've got this week, which is issue 35, part of issue 36 next week, and then I'm going to take a few weeks off. I will announce when I'm coming back. I'm not disappearing, don't worry, I'm not going completely. I just want to recoup my energy and recoup the magazines before I come back. It may be around Christmas time, I don't know yet, but I'll keep you posted. So I just thought I'd start the video by saying that. But enough about that, let's get started on the parts we get in issue 35, where we're of course finishing off the top half of this T-Rex, which is very exciting. The first part we get is this gorgeously painted green part, and no screws, but it just plugs into these two holes here. Just line it up and push it in, he says. Not wanting to push it in. Oh yeah, there we go. Lovely. There's that part in there, looking grand. And we put the front part of the T-Rex away just for the moment, and we bring back the back, which we didn't really use last week, if you remember. But we do get this part in issue 35, which are these gorgeous back vents of the T-Rex. And what we do is we just line up the back vents there, so it'll look like that when it's all done, and we just screw it in there. There we go, nice and simple. There's that part in there like that. I do have a little gap on mine. I wonder if that's normal. Yeah, I do have a little gap, but that's okay, because when it's all sealed up, it'll all be black, so you won't be able to see it. The next thing we need to do is, if we flip the back on its back again, we need to get this waist joint installed. So this will be the waist joint for the T-Rex, and it's similar to the arm joint that we saw. You just pop it into the bottom there and just screw it down into these four holes here, which I'm just going to go ahead and do now. But remember, with anything kind of metal and spinny, you need the screw and you need the washer as well. So I'm just going to do that now. And there we have that all done, and that will be able to twist around when that's all installed to get that waist rotation, which will be lovely. We then flip the back on its front, and we next get the fantastic T-Rex head. And you'll see there are two pegs there and there, which line up to pegs here. So we're just going to go ahead and screw the head on now. There we go. So there we have the head on the body. Looking good. Let me just zoom out a bit actually so you can see. There's the other part there that will come into play now. So we just need to make sure that the wires for the eyes are down inside the body. And then we need to get to the front part and push it together. No screwing on this side, at this stage, sorry. But we just need to make sure that it all lines up and that there are no screws showing, like that. Oh, this thing looks awesome. And then to secure it all down, we get this lovely red accented piece. And it just occurred to me that I have nearly chopped off that wire doing that. So let's pop you back in there, because we don't want any wires sticking at the bottom or the sides or indeed at the top. We get this red part and we pop it into place there like that, and then we screw it down with these 4 screw holes here, which I am going to do off camera because the angle is very awkward. I don't want to bounce it on its head. So be right back. And here it is. Look at that. There's some rattling around going on inside because we still haven't secured that circuit board, and there is still the red accents actually to slip on. So we haven't fully done, but you really get a sense of this fantastic T-Rex from all this. So let's open up. So I think if you push down on the head, it should open up the body, which it does, but then I've got this extra bit of plastic on mine, which means that opening up is a little harder, but that's okay. I can get past that. Right, so what we need to do now is, it's right in here. Are you gonna, if I zoom in, are you going to be able to see that? We've got the circuit board here with a loose battery, so let's put the battery safely out of the way, like that. And I went ahead and I already pegged in one of the eye wires, because I wanted to make sure that I did get the wires the right way around, and I have. So the instructions were wrong last week, so just bear that in mind. But you just plug in all the wires into this circuit board. That's not going in. If I flip it around, that'll go in there. Yep, okay. And then this circuit board tucks very neatly. You see holes in the back there, which I've got to line up to the charger and the on button somehow. So, oh, okay, there's 2 peg holes. Get the lighting. 2 peg holes there where the circuit board's going to be attached. I am going to do this off camera because it's too fiddly to do on camera, and then I'll show you what it all looks like when it's done. And here it is all installed, and it is very, very fiddly, but if you can see in there, it hides away very nicely. And if you flip round on the back, I did the method of putting the on button on with some of the comic book tape. So the on button is actually really nicely hidden in amongst the detailing. It's so subtle. It's this one here, he says. Yeah, I have turned it on. And then of course you can see the USB is really subtle there as well. And I've just turned the lights on. Look at that. I can zoom out again now, can't I? There we go. Look at that. T-Rex eyes all glowing. So let's bring his head down. His head fits very nicely in there. Bring it up. Clip it into place. Megazord mode. Boom. Look at that. There's so much joy in doing that, because as a kid, and then of course actually if I turn on the Megazord eyes as well, there we go. There's so much joy doing that because of course as a kid that was one of the best things to do. Oh, we got to sort out this door. Okay, then you just bring the eyes up, which are glowing really nice and brightly actually. Clip that into place. Boom. T-Rex all done. Now there is a slight gappage, I'd say there, and there, but I think that is okay. I've just had a thought. I haven't unpacked any of the other parts or my 90s Dyno Megazord, so let me just go ahead and do that, and then we'll do some comparisons. And here we are, just a few days later, now that I've unpacked the 93 T-Rex and of course the SOC T-Rex, and you can see quite clearly it is the larger T-Rex. Looks exactly the same as the SOC, apart from, of course, we are missing the red parts on the Altaya, which will be next week. And yeah, it looks very similar with these bespoke stickers on the 93. So yeah, you get a good size comparison there. Very, very happy with it. I have done some research while I was away as well, unpacking. And what you're meant to do is you're meant to push down these ears at the back, and it loosens up the chest plate here, and it folds down very neatly, tucks in like that. So I knocked the camera there. So that is the way to do it. Please let me know if your chest piece is stiff, because I think when I click mine into place properly, so that is secure, even if I push the ears in, which is meant to open up the chest part, which it does, yeah, it still catches there, so I still have to finagly, oh, I'm gonna break this one of these days. So that goes in there, and then it goes like that. So, you know, a work in progress. Maybe when these red parts are in and this side is clipped together, it won't be as bad. But I mean, it still looks great. And after all the kind of build of it is done, one thing I've learned with the other models, the Falcon, the Thunderbird 2, the DeLorean, is that you play with them for about a month, and you show it off to people for about a month with all the lights and sounds, if they have sounds and stuff like that, and then they just stand in the corner looking magnificent. So this will be in Megazord mode, I imagine, for a lot of its life, and we won't have to worry about the chest piece. So I'm not too fussed if I have to kind of keep doing that to show it off in the meantime. So yeah, that is the end of the video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Next week we are properly finishing off the T-Rex chest piece, putting the kind of red shoulders on there. So that is what's coming up next week. Until then guys, take care, bye bye.